Well, good afternoon. I'm Jay Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the April 23rd, 2020 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details. Psalm 113 to 118 is known as the Hallel, which means praise, and it forms the basis of the word hallelujah. These psalms were also known as the Psalms of Ascent, meaning going up, and were used by pilgrims who were coming to Jerusalem to worship, primarily on the three main feast days of the Jewish year, where all Jewish men were required to attend in Jerusalem, and many of their families came with them. Now, I was put in mind of these beautiful psalms of thanksgiving, even lament, memory, and supplication, all infused with a excited praise. I was put in a thought of them today because I was on Facebook, and all of a sudden came up a Facebook Live from a group called the City of David, Ancient Jerusalem. And they were doing a live Facebook feed from underneath modern Jerusalem. And they were showing the actual long street, the actual stone pavement that these pilgrims would have been walking up from the lower level of Jerusalem, the original city of David, where the Shiloh pool was, where they would have cleansed themselves upon entering the city, then up through what was called the Fifth Avenue of ancient Jerusalem, and then on up this very steep, very wide, very well constructed pavement made up of terraces and stone steps all the way up to the temple. And so we know that Jerusalem itself is on a mountain area, and so whether you were coming from the north, the south, the east, or the west, when you went to Jerusalem, you said you were going up to Jerusalem because the elevation of the city was high. But also, once you were within the city, there were levels, and so the highest level, of course, was the temple. And you could see so vividly on this, probably the most exciting, maybe even most important archaeological dig in the world right now. You could see exactly the street, and you could see the dimensions of the stores that would have been on either side. And as you saw those steps and they walked you right through it, you realized exactly what it must have felt like. One of the guides on this Facebook Live tour said that it was an ascent, not just physically, but spiritually, and you really could feel that. And it was a difficult climb. It was not easy at all. In fact, one of the docents was saying that you had to really contemplate if you were going to bring your family. Could all the members of the family, the really old and the really young, could they handle it? And a lot of the women would sometimes stay behind and not accompany their husbands on these pilgrimages when the children were very small. And then as the children grew up and they could physically handle this ascent, it's a workout for people who are even in very good shape, apparently. And it just goes on and on and on. And it just made me realize one more time how when you want to develop, when you want to get closer to God, when you want to go up and ascend spiritually, it's difficult, number one. It's not a short little sprint. It's a marathon, just like that road was. There's going to be patches that are much more difficult than others. It's not going to be completely even. One thing that I noticed is that these rocks, these pavements are shiny. They're shiny as if they've been polished. And it was being explained that those are centuries of people having walked on that street. And so it reminded me of the verse, because we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. There are so many fellow Christians People who have made that pilgrimage, that spiritual pilgrimage to the holy city, to the Jerusalem, not necessarily the physical Jerusalem, although I certainly hope to go there one day. It is the first thing on my bucket list, frankly. I want to go see the Holy Land so badly. But more important than physically being there is mentally and spiritually moving into the holy city and pulling closer and closer to God. It is not an easy thing. It is ascending, and it is not the easiest road. But many people are going with us. Many people have gone before us. I know it's a narrow road in comparison to the billions and billions of people who have been on this earth, but it's still a lot of people. You are not alone. If you ever feel like you're the only person that is staying faithful to God, or that still cares or is still motivated, don't be like that. One of the prophets was like that, and God said, hey, you're not the only one, dude. I got a lot of people out here, and that is such a great comfort to me to know that we're walking this journey, but we are not alone. And fellow believers are going up this pilgrimage with us. But the other thing that just was so exciting to me is, as people went, they sang the songs of Hallel. They sang Psalm 113 through 118 as they were going up. As you realize that you are developing, you are moving up, getting closer and closer to God, and He's developing you. What is your right attitude? What is your right response? It should be breaking out in song, breaking out in that freeing and almost, I can't help myself kind of, when you're so excited, people break out in song. And that's how we should feel as we are ascending in our pilgrimage. We're all on a pilgrimage. So check that video out. You're going to love it. Again, just go to City of David, Ancient Jerusalem. You'll get an awful lot out of it. Archaeologically, it's just phenomenal what they found. But it has I think when we see something in archaeology, the reason I love biblical archaeology is not that it makes me think, see, I was right all along, but because it's a celebration. It makes you so grateful. It's one more time to be able to tell the story again and rejoice in it and know that the salvation is real. I'm Lenora Bressler, hoping you are singing songs of ascent. Hallelujah today. Join me on the next edition of the Bible. Delight in the details. Have a great day.